It's Shannon.
Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon Live.
It's Shannon.
Because you don't know how it's going to turn out.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
My kids empowered me to get out.
What's going on with this remote learning and in the midst of COVID?
Working for different elected officials, learning and understanding how to put your community first.
Hello, and welcome to the show tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'd like to welcome my two co-hosts that's joining me for Hot Topics, Allison Maurice and Dracula and Winard Rivera. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing? Well, girls, let me tell you, you know what the hot topic is now? That Oscar slap.
Lord.
I mean, what is going on that people think that they can just walk up and slap somebody? I don't understand this. Is there something in the air for March or what? I mean, it was so, you know what? I'm so heartbreaking for the simple reason is I'm past the slap now. I'm just so heartbreaking is here we are, the first time having an opportunity to come back with the Oscars. Here we got Will Packer had planned everything, put together such a wonderful program for the Oscars. And here, this took away from all of that. We can't even recognize Quest for his Oscar or anything. He didn't even get his moment. Like, what? I don't understand what would possess him to do something like that.
Listen, for once, Kanye didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because the guy said if that had been Kanye, he would have been arrested.
Okay.
So this is the double standard that he was not immediately arrested and taken out of the theater.
I think that Will Smith needs to examine himself. Everybody's saying it's so out. His mother said it's so out of character. This is who he is, and he needs to take responsibility for what he did. You cannot, in any circumstances, slap another person, hit another person. You should be. There needs to be some charges put up against him because this is not acceptable. And Chris Rock is very gracious for not doing anything.
Let me tell you something. Chris, first of all, I thought the slap was a joke. I thought it was like, they had planned it. I thought it was choreographed.
Yeah,
when I saw it, I was like, no, he didn't. Yeah. He did. I didn't see a slap like I saw, and then I saw the face. But listen, I don't know what to say for Will. I really honestly don't. And regardless of what his mother says, he could be slapping people every week. There's a time and place, baby.
Well, Allison, now you already know a mother. She ain't gonna go against her son. We already know that. She knows that he have slapped people in the past. She knows he have acted up in the past. There's no way she's
out of character,
years and wasn't out of character at some point. So she's not going to say anything against him. But as a mother, she still could say, well, it was unacceptable behavior. And I wish he had not done that.
Yes.
So I don't know what's going on with him. But don't sit there and say that this is not
I don't know. Listen,
Will was slapping people for years. It was never filmed.
Right. But with Will's stature and his age, I mean, like, Will's not some new kid coming up in the biz and ended up at the Oscars for the first time in his life.
This is what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? He wasn't on the streets of Philly yesterday. He's been at this level for a significant period of time. He's 50 something.
You know what I'm saying?
He knows better.
He's at the top of the game now that he can mostly do what he wants, except what movie he wants or whatever. So I mean, my thing is, even if you didn't like the joke, which I said, well, what is so wrong with the joke? It's the girl in the G.I. Jane movie just had her hair cut bald, but it was an empowerment move for her to let people know that women could be in the army and the services, things like that. So that was nothing to really get mad about. And even we don't know where Chris knew, that she has a problem with the hair, whatever. But even so, by women wearing their hair cut bald now, it's no big deal.
It's no. You're so sensitive about this. You just want to see how far you can pull Will. Jada wants to see how far she can pull Will's strings. She has him totally wrapped and controlled.
But are there any inches left? He's been pulling them for years, baby. Why? Listen. Come on, sisters, come on.
No, but the thing now, listen. This is what I can't understand. This is what I don't understand, and this is hypocritical to me. Now you have an open marriage. They talk to whoever they want to talk to.
Right.
I mean, she was sleeping with somebody in the van and admitted that that's what she was doing. So my thing is, well, if you didn't go over there to beat up that man because he's sleeping with your wife, and you go get angry, go slap Chris over a joke.
Listen, Alcina had a lot more than a joke in his mouth, and so did Jada. Okay. So,
this is what I'm saying.
This is a new entanglement. This is a new entanglement.
I'm done. Listen, I'm done. I'm done with Will and Jada and their toxic relationship. I really, honestly, listen. I wish Will the best, but at this point, a good divorce lawyer and a vacation somewhere far away with no internet.
Exactly. Because you really can't even justify this. Yeah. You can't even justify this. And now another thing too, because you old enough and mature enough, even if you didn't like the joke and she didn't like the joke, right? Wait till after the Oscars over and approach him. You can approach him after the Oscars was over. You go into the parties together or whatever, waiting for him outside or anything. Right. You know, this Oscars is very, how you say, elite, prestigious. Everybody coming with their tux and gowns and stuff on, and you would pick that time to walk across the stage.
This is the time I wanna show what I could do. You know what?
After walking across the stage was bad, but then he gonna come back and start cursing. Who's cursing at the theater at an event like this?
You know what?
Word of all words.
You know what brings to mind his mental stability, because you couldn't differentiate and say, let me address the situation with him later. With the appropriate time. It was eating at you that bad, where the cameras are on, the lights are on, that this is being streamed and looked at all over the world. Now is the time. But
he was laughing at the joke.
Right.
He was laughing at the joke. So why were you laughing then?
Listen, because Jada wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, just because she wasn't, that don't mean you had to
Jada wasn't.
What you mean?
Just let her sit there and roll her eyes. That's
no.
You know what Will said? If Jada's upset right now, she's not even gonna want to look at me, touch me. She's gonna raise hell in the house. So he said, let me show her that I'm the man.
Let me show out.
And I was ashamed for. What? I'm ashamed for him. I'm deeply sorry for Chris Rock, and I just don't like her behavior, because you know how to set him off. Mm-hmm. She has a lot of like that
mental control,
Bengali mind control on him.
Listen, she knows how to work it. Strong with that one. You understand what I'm telling you? But at the end of the day, we can't put it on Jada, because Jada didn't lean over and say, "Well, I need you to slap the mess out of Chris." Mm-hmm. She didn't say anything to him. All she did was disapprove. Like
Allison,
in a situation,
she's been doing this for years. She's got his head.
She does. Mm-hmm. She does. Yeah. You're
right. She didn't have to speak and say,
"She did.
I need you to slap his
ear off." Let me tell you, the blessing is
in her dress.
The blessing is that it was Chris he slapped, because if that had been somebody else, and they turned around and started punching him, and they doing a rumble up there on the stage, could you imagine what that would have turned into?
Imagine Samuel Jackson or Denzel Washington.
Samuel Jackson, none of them would have stood there and let him slap them like that.
Samuel Jackson would have ate him up.
Listen.
And so could you imagine them on the stage rumbling and rolling and punching at this type? I felt so bad.
I'm so ashamed.
And
I felt bad for him, because when they said, well, they didn't understand why they didn't escort him out, but then Will Packer had made the decision to just leave him there, let the Oscar go on, so there wouldn't be any other commotion.
Right.
With it afterwards.
Right.
That's the only thing. That's why. But I'm sorry, he should have had them escort him out. I understand what Mr. Packer was trying to do, but he should have been escorted out.
Listen, they don't want that at the Oscars. They could do that at the BET Awards, but they can't do that at the Oscars. And as much as we have fought and spoken out about not enough of faces that look like us at the Oscars, this is what Will goes and does. Listen.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm appalled because one, I don't even watch the Oscars because again, it's not enough of us there.
I don't watch it neither.
It's not enough of us there. So I had to find out on social media about this.
Yeah, but this time around, Will Packer had changed some of that. He changed some of that because the way he had everything set up was really nice. He had Wanda, Regina, and Amy. You know, they did a good job. They came out in the audience. They messed with people. The people didn't get angry when they was messing with them in the audience because some of the stuff they said to some of the people was like sort of insulted a little bit. I mean, Amy came over and told the lady to get up so she could talk to the actor. Then he told her, "Well, that's my wife." She just turned around and looked at the wife and turned around and looked back at him and kept on talking. But the wife didn't get upset.
This is almost like Will sabotaging our moment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
This is the sabotage.
Everything from this moment of the Oscars. That's all people's talking about is his slap. They're not even talking about the people that
won. And the people out here saying, like, this is why we don't bring them around.
Exactly.
This is why.
In one slap, shut us down.
Exactly.
And if Will at that level can show out at the Oscars, we're never going back. What do you mean?
We're never going back.
Never. They're gonna be like, "Who's up?" Oh no, we can't do this. If Will was wilding out, this person's gonna wild out too. So it's gonna be hard, and he set us back.
It's not even an issue about what Whoopi was saying about the.
Will Packer, that just put him further on top.
Exactly.
Because now he had that under his belt that he, put together the Oscars. And, like I said, it was really well put together and everything. So it's like now, like, what is the problem that we just can't go somewhere and know how to act?
Listen, Will and Kanye don't know how to go nowhere and know how to act. Okay. Let me come to the Oscars.
Well, really, I haven't seen Kanye do anything like that. The only thing Kanye did was went up there that time and took the mic away from Taylor Swift.
But now look,
should have won. But
that was light work.
That was like, well, Will has set the bar now.
So what's going to happen for the next person? What are they going to do?
But now the comedians are afraid that now people, if they don't like their jokes or something, they'll be throwing things at them or walk up to them and attack them. So, it's a problem now. So I just hope that the Academy does some kind of discipline and don't sweep this under the rug, like they use to sweep anything else. So we're going to take a break and we're going to come back to discuss a further topic. We'll be right back.
Okay.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at shecanstem.com.
We're back with more hot topics. Thank you for joining us. And we just finished our first look. I just hope everything changes and people learn how to act when they go somewhere.
Yeah.
So moving right along, we want to congratulate, not that she's been put in there yet, but we know it's going to happen, Judge Katanya Brown Jackson. We just hope that she gets her confirmation, which looks like that she's going to get it. But if you've been watching the confirmation, sometimes I think that I'm back in the 60s. I just couldn't even believe they are sitting there talking to this woman and asking her these questions, especially that Lindsey Graham. And So now I'm glad he did act like that. So at least now the world know that he is a racist, and we don't have to ask question where it is, because the stuff that he was saying to her and asking her was just totally uncalled for. And since they know she's really qualified for the job, and we're still sitting here in 2022 talking to someone and acting like that they're not qualified and that we are not supposed to be in these types of positions or anything, like, I mean, what do you think about this?
Listen, first of all, let me tell you something. What honestly changed with the civil rights movement for folks that didn't look like us? You know what I mean? It was now frowned upon, and not even when it first happened. It was frowned upon that they couldn't have this outward behavior, this outward mindset, this outward thought process, this outward thinking about how they felt about people of the global majority. You know what I mean? They weren't able to have these kind of, statements or say the things that they were able to do or do the things that they were able to do. But it still seeps. Nothing happened. That just how we haven't really healed and made the work to move past slavery. Right. It was just like, all right, it's done. And
exactly.
Then happened. They haven't actually had to work through their racist past or their racist present and their racist future. It was just like, listen, we don't want to hear that anymore. You can't say it at work. You can't treat people like this. But that didn't change how they felt.
Yes.
Right. You just want people to say it whenever, however, and to whoever they wanted to.
Exactly.
That was it. That was it. There was no, okay, we need to change the thought process of how we viewed these human beings, because essentially we were not thought of as that. We were thought of as property. So how do you talk to somebody who viewed and saw nothing wrong with viewing a human being that had legs, arms, bled, all of it as property, and now they're giving these basic human rights? It's like, what do you mean?
They're not that. A lot of people are not happy with progress, and we are people that are learned, educated, and well crafted. We can manage, and just we're getting our spotlight, and that spotlight is being recognized for what we are. I just want to know one thing: how can you? I'm talking about Lindsey Graham and all the rest of them. How you could actually say someone is good enough to be in a position for a federal judge, but now I don't want her that high.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Right. You voted for her the last time. But now you don't want to vote for her.
She's more qualified than most of those people.
She voted for her.
Exactly. She has more qualifications than they have, and they know that, and he knew that, because he made a little statement, like a little sarcastic.
But they voted for her because they knew it wasn't going to happen. But they voted for her then because they knew it wasn't going to happen. You feel me? Like, listen, somebody asked me an opinion. I'm like, listen, if I know Trump's going to win, I think he should be president. You know what I mean? That's not my view. But you know what I mean? If it's not going to happen, then sure, I'll go along with whatever.
Exactly. I get your
thought. But now that it has happened, now that's when you're like, I don't know. You see,
but the thing about it was, what is the difference between her now when you voted for her last position than you voted for her now? She's the same.
The difference is she's going to get higher up the scale.
The shot is real.
Yeah, it's real.
Now it's happening. It's moving. Before it was whatever wasn't in motion, but now it is. Either the day is different, the year is different, or Obama, whoever, you know what I mean, has set the pace for this to happen, and now it's happening, and it's like, oh wait, no,
that's very threatening to them.
Yes, and that's the thing. Black people, especially Black women in power.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to get at.
It's a fear. Scary. And it's a real fear for them, because you have to think about it like this, right? Let me play devil's advocate. You have to think about it like this. If I have done, and my family has done, my ancestors has done this specific set of people, these grave injustices, right? And now they are in places of power to set laws.
Yes.
To give sentences, to be president or these very high places. I'm like, now I have to worry what they would do to me. Will they be able to undo all of the generational benefits that I have received on their back and to their detriment? Because they
I still say I was kind of a little annoyed too that a lot of the other Democrats, to me, didn't speak up more, and for her than what they did. You
got Cory Booker. That's it.
Like Senator Cory Booker, like when he spoke, spoke with passion about how proud he was, and what it meant to him to see her sitting there.
We needed more people to stand up for her.
Exactly. And this is what I'm saying.
And you know what? It's like, what would surprise me? It's almost like he's like Joe Manchin is wearing the coat of a Democrat, but the heart of a Republican, because we're like, oh my God, he's going to be on the team to nominate her. No, because I'm surprised.
Right.
I'm not though. You got to understand that these people who claim to be Democrats, do they really come from the places that we come from?
Yes.
They still benefit. They still live in the same neighborhoods as these Republicans. They still play golf with them.
Yes. Yeah.
You understand me? It is just about being in a place of power. So I will talk the talk. Yeah, I want to have equal rights. Yeah, but that's not what I want. I don't want to. They're not in my neighborhood.
They're not going to do it.
They don't want to do it.
They don't want to
do it. So no matter if it's Republican, Democrat, listen, the mindset is still the same.
Because even with her trying to get her confirmation now and everything, but I mean, just look at the Emmett Till bill. Why would it have taken this long to get this bill passed?
200 times.
Because
get this bill passed because of what they did to that young man. Yes. It should have been passed long time ago or whatever. But the voting rights, they still fight. When it's time to speak up for whatever it is that we need to get through, the people who can make the change is not speaking up.
Because they don't want to speaking up
to get these laws and things. They don't want to make
a change.
You know what?
But what I'm saying is there'll always be somewhere protesting.
Right.
They protest for us to try to get the laws and stuff passed, but then when it gets hung up somewhere, I don't hear anything from you anymore. It's to me just like the Black Lives Matter thing. Okay, all you could hear was Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. That was going on. Soon as everything died down, now the bill is not being passed. I don't hear no noise. I don't hear you saying anything now. Or whatever. This is the time you need to be saying something.
You know, nothing to be feared more. What the opposite side sees is a Black woman in power.
Talk about it.
And KBJ is moving up.
Yes.
And I don't even consider Clarence Thomas anything worthy, because you're a stool pigeon. You're just there to be there. Mm-hmm. And you actually you're a puppet, and your strings are run by your wife.
Well,
so I know that Ketanji Brown Jackson is gonna do. She follows the Constitution. She follows the law. She goes by the precedents. Just like when it was beating her regarding the case, the 9 cases that she said on, they were trying to nitpick. But the same man that was complaining about her cases, you belong in jail. Gates,
exactly.
You belong locked up.
This is what I'm saying. But see, the thing about it was, what was so good about it, they couldn't get her. They couldn't get her.
No,
she answered those questions very calmly. She didn't get upset. She just took her time and she responded to them. And I know going through her head, she wanted to say something because we were.
She wanted to pull a Will.
Oh, that's what we gonna call it now. That's what we gonna call it now.
That's what it is now.
I'm gonna do a will. I'm gonna do a will.
All right.
No, but see, the good thing about it, I was so proud of her because she didn't let them break her or get her caught up when she couldn't answer the question.
Right.
And so that's really what was frustrating them, because she would answer the question.
Yes.
You are
and then
so
she
right.
would do it so politely. Well, thank you, Senator. You know this. That. I was like, "You go, girl."
Because
when
that lady senator, Lindsey Graham, and I'm being funny, was going at her, she was very calm and poised.
Yes, and that makes him angry.
Because when he asked her about her religion, and she nicely told him, what did her religion have to do with her confirmation? I'm like, now why would
they
you ask
took
her
church
something
and
about her
state?
religion?
They separated that a long time ago.
Long time ago, they were digging.
But that's what I'm saying. How do you have that much hatred inside of you as a person?
Because it never
Old
went
as your butt
anywhere.
is
It never
now,
went anywhere.
and
It was
you
never
still
went
have that
anywhere.
kind of hatred in you against another race of people. This is what I don't get.
Because
I will tell you,
they know the creativity we have. They know the genes we have. They know what we are. We are strong. We are proud. We take care of business, especially Black women. We do what we gotta do.
And let me tell you something. Black people have showed time and time over how we can do if we were able to do for ourselves, Seneca Village, do for ourselves, produce ourselves, have our own. You know what I mean? They have destroyed more Black wealthy communities than they've dropped bombs in Baghdad.
Black Wall Street.
Okay.
But I want to respond to our viewers' question about where's the NAACP. Well, see, I mean, they'll speak out some of what it is, but we just can't depend on leaders now.
Right.
We all as individuals have to do our part.
That's
we have to do our part. And one of the main parts that we need to do is go to them polls and vote. And try to put people in that's going to do something for us. And stop
They've been doing it for years.
Well, they're not going to do anything. So there's no reason for me to go out and vote for them. And that's the problem. See, it's in our hands to take care of business.
But can I take that one step further? We also have to put money behind the politicians that we want. You got to have skin in this game.
Exactly.
Okay. If you have skin in this game, then you can go to these politicians like, listen, I've supported your campaign. I've supported your campaign.
Exactly.
Now I expect to see.
This is what I'm saying.
I
but we got to make sure that we're putting somebody in there that's going to do something that's going to work for us.
Yeah.
Not work
you know
for
what?
other people, but work
Politics
for us.
are so we don't. You know what? We have to be educated more. Politics are very important, and to listen because. While I'm not going to vote because it's not going to make a difference, but they're voting, and they're getting these ridiculous laws passed.
Yes, but why is that? Because people only pay attention to these big voting events. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm gonna vote for my mayor. I'm gonna vote for my president. But you know, we vote for the legislative branch as well. You know what I mean?
Well, ladies, we're gonna have to wrap up. You know, we we went out of time. But thank you so much for coming on and you know, talking about our two hot topics today. I mean, I hope things have changed. I hope we learn how to act when we go somewhere. And I hope that we will support our leaders. And you know, we're going to pray that she gets in. And I'm sure she will. But we want to pray that she gets in. And, you know, that she's going to make a difference. So I want to thank everybody for joining the show today and watching. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
It's Shannon. 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 Keeping it real.
Hi, I'm glad you're sticking around for our after show. We was talking when we went off the air for our regular show. We was talking about the judge's confirmation. I just want to add a little bit more to that because you know this is such a historical time, And I'm so happy about it because I want our young women to see this and realize that they can be whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
Because when you look at her, all this stuff that she has accomplished, she only like 50 something years old. I was trying to figure out, well, when did she have time to get all of this in just the length of time of, of her age and stuff.
Right.
So that goes to show you that
The
if
hard
you
work.
study hard,
Her hard work and dedication,
work hard, and be serious about what you want to do, you can do it. And this is what we have to instill in our children.
Exactly.
It starts young, not when they get older. It starts them young. We got to see what it is they have a talent for, or what if they're interested in law, if they're interested in medicine, and start working with them just like her father worked with her.
Her parents were great role models.
Yeah,
great
he
role models.
molded her and got her on the right track going. And this is what we have to do as parents with our children. We have to help start molding, our children, because for a young woman like this to be, so educated and so accomplished, it's just a wonderful thing for all of us women.
Yeah.
If she's a role model to the older women, because I look at her and I was like, you know what? I can learn from her because just her patience and sitting there answering them questions. Because me, I'd have been like, excuse me?
I should will. Keep my name out your mouth. Okay, I'd have pulled the will. I may not have slapped her. But that Trinidadian might have said, what are you talking
Boy, you said.
Let me go outside.
For her to sit there and take all of that, I said to myself that goes to show
shows you the
what
class
kind of woman she is.
And what we're dealing with. But you know
and
what?
also too,
we look. I'm sorry. We're looking for a lot more than just working and just doing a job and making your money. She's making a difference. Like you can love what you do, but make a point to it. Do what you got to do. Like do more than just the average. And like I'm punching 9 to 5. Right. She made this her path,
her life
work.
Exactly. And it's showing. I'm so proud of her. It's like,
and
that's my family.
Like when she was talking about her cases and what she did, she was following the law.
And she kept saying that.
She made sure her T's and I's was crossed according to what the law. Because when she
said, I'm only following by what y'all put out there.
Exactly.
I like that. You're right, Allison.
What you wrote down is what I'm using.
That's what she would always say. She said, "This is what they say the judges are supposed to be doing."
So and then she actually explained the difference between someone that was has thousands and thousands of pornographic pictures as opposed to a person that had like 20, 30. And then but she explained it because the way they took it was they took, like I'm gonna break down your work. I'm only gonna take a little excerpt. But she explained what was going on. You can't fully understand if you have some senator just nitpicking one line. She's good.
Yes,
she's going far. She is far.
See, all of this ties in together, just like her being successful in her way. Will is successful in the field that he was in.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to carry yourself and how to act.
Yes.
You didn't stay for that class. That class on how to carry yourself when you get to the top.
Exactly.
He was singing West Philadelphia, born and raised. He was dancing.
Listen,
but that was okay. I get that when he was doing his TV show, The First Prince of Bel-Air, all of that kind of stuff. But the thing about it is, but what upset me also too is when he posted about, well, that goes to show you can't invite anyone from Philly or Baltimore anywhere. Like, so what are you saying? You ghetto? So that's why they shouldn't invite you?
Yes.
Because you from Philly, the ball. Why would you
could take them out of Philly, but you can't take them out the You understand? We
So
don't
then
have
I
to
had to
let
start
Will come back.
thinking. I'm starting to think now, like, so maybe you was sorry about what you did.
No, he's not.
Now you up there
He's
talking
out
about,
there now. Everybody's looking at him like, what?
No, he's not. He's not sorry.
He's not sorry.
He's
He
not
has.
sorry.
He thinks he has to do what he's doing.
And then on top of that, you know, Will has reached a point where, and it's hard not to be arrogant at that level. Once you start employing people, you've reached the point, and when you start employing people on your level, when you start doing that, you've reached a point where now people are yesing you to death.
Yes.
Yes, that's great. Yes, he deserved that slap. Yes. So it's hard. You know, you lose a lot of those people along the way that will, you know, pull you to the side. You know, you look crazy doing that, right?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
But the thing about it is, what I was saying earlier is, we need to stop bringing each other down. You know what I'm saying? Because when your actions will make things bad for us as a people. Even though we're individual people and all like that, but still, it's a reflection. They won't look at it as just you. They're going to look at it as a reflection on all of us, that we don't know how to act when we go someplace. That's like when you take somebody someplace and they start drinking and start acting a fool and embarrassing you, and you brought them to this event or whatever. You know, so
that's why I don't go nowhere with that person
like that and act up. You're making all of us look bad.
Allison,
this
what
was
is
our night?
What you were gonna say?
Oh, the little seasoning that we were dropping. You have to understand, since we were brought to this country against our will, or, you know, bamboozled, whichever, how you want to explain it, we have been pitted against each other. And that has been a normalcy for our existence.
Right.
And we have never, and listen, they have done a great job of whipping that up, because again, we have not done the work needed from all of that generational therapy that they needed. You know, it's hard when you are raised by somebody who is abused. They raised their children because of how they were raised. So imagine that going down 400 years. You know what I mean?
But still, Allison.
I mean, I get it. I get you.
But I'm saying, we attack each other.
But we
drag each other down. We're attacking each other. You were
showed us how to do
brother.
it. But who showed us how to do it? I'm not making no excuses.
You still learn how to act on your own.
I am not making excuses for what he did, but you have to understand that's been ingrained in us since we were enslaved. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say, oh, he knows better. You're right. He does know better. But if that's something that has been taught down your lineage, it's hard to let that go until your mother has dealt with it, till your grandmother has dealt with it, till your great-great-grandmother has dealt with it. It's something that is ingrained in our DNA that still happens to this day. We can see somebody winning and still say something slick.
Exactly. There she goes.
Say something slick.
She thinks she's cute.
She
thinks she's cute. What is the problem with her thinking that?
You know what I mean? But
then why do we still
that it takes away
I
from
can understand we grew up a certain way, certain things are instilled in us, but I feel when you get grown enough, you know the difference between right and wrong.
No, you feel that way. A lot of us feel that way. A lot of us can't distinguish that.
Listen, right, and depending on how we grew up or who we were exposed to, the people in our circle, the people in our corner, it's easy to say, he's here. He's an adult. And I'm not making excuses, because all of those things apply. He's an adult. He should know better. But you have to understand too that because you've reached that level doesn't mean that you're hanging out with people who are better.
Yeah. Yeah, but it just seems like to me, every time, you know, you're trying to do something, when we're trying to get ahead, we're doing good, we set up something that's going to be nice or whatever, or somebody get in a position, you know, it was just like when the mayor took over and everything. I mean, he only been in office 22 days, and the guy came out and leaked the tape about him calling the policemen's, crackers and stuff. And it's like, even the reporter.
They saved that.
Even the reporter.
Of course they did.
They had that in the file.
Listen.
Huh?
They had that in the file.
But what I'm saying, that's not what I'm saying. I don't care whether it was in a file. It was like 4 or 5 years ago when it happened. But what I'm saying is, why do you wait until he get in office for you to show that now? And then you didn't show the whole speech. You didn't show the whole speech.
That's what you said. Yeah,
that's what you said
to break you down. I don't like where you at.
It's called receipts.
I'm cashing
you
in.
hide now, so let me knock you down a little bit.
Well, this is what I'm saying. But see, you don't realize that when you're not trying to knock him down, you're knocking us down at the same time. You're knocking us down at the same time. Because the thing about it is, then his excuse is because he's not doing anything for us. Like, well, he'd been in the office 22 days. How he got time to do anything for anybody?
But you see, that's the thing. People were like, when Obama got in office, he didn't do enough for the hood. He did. You wanted him to come to Bed-Stuy? He got a country to run.
Exactly.
You're not even doing anything for your own neighborhood.
This is what I'm saying. It's like when we trying to get there, we are knocking each other down. And just like the slap to me is like black on black crime. That's what that was to me. So what you out there slapping with us for that?
Listen,
not that you're supposed to be slapping anybody.
You're not.
But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody will,
because you got to understand too that mental health, right? And let me season this a little bit. I started reading this book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Right? I'm not anywhere near to really discuss this book heavy, but it really started to change the way that I see people's behavior. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever known anybody who grew up in like a generational project apartment?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, they have, okay, you're not in the place your grandmother was. You can get an education and do X, Y, and Z and all these things. Like, I never understood the attitude of, well, I'm not going to do, I just want the government's money. They owe me money.
Yes.
And that used to drive me. And as an immigrant, I'm like, that just sounds lazy. But starting to read this book, I am really kind of changing.
I think I would like to know what book this is.
Right. I'm starting to change that kind of thought process on how people think who are in those positions. It's hard when you grow up in certain situations because the way you raise your children is a product of your upbringing. You do things innately, and sometimes you don't even realize it. Like, I saw a parent and she was sitting there cussing her little child out, and I'm like, oh my God. Is that what I sound like when I break on my son?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta think. You know what I mean? Like, I started talking to my son now. I'm like, listen, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood because seeing it, and I don't want him to think that is normal. You know what I mean? I don't want him to talk to his children like that.
Right.
And especially seeing it and now changing this mindset. I'm like, homie, let me talk to you at the table real quick. It's different, but so to say to Will, yes, he is old enough and adult enough to know better. But when you have lived a life, and he is still in that toxic house with Jada, okay?
That's got to change.
Listen, somebody give that man a divorce lawyer.
I guess you have to put it out there and let him know. Look, get the divorce lawyer, because I mean it's obvious that
they need to go different paths.
It's obvious that something is seriously going on.
Codependency,
and I hope it and pray. So we're gonna just pray that nothing seriously happens eventually after this, because something is going on there, and we just, like you said, we don't know what it is,
right?
But the behavior has to stop, and I want us to stop, downing each other, putting each other down, and messing up things for people, because people work hard on a project, and when you work that hard on a project to put it together, you want it to go over nice and smooth, and not come in with this ghetto stuff or whatever.
It was on track to doing that.
Right.
Leave that stuff home. You know you can always confront the person later. You
It
don't
was
have to
Will
do it
sabotage.
to anybody,
Will
you know?
sabotaged it.
Exactly. So I
TV
feel bad for
I
Mr.
do.
Packer. So Mr. Packer, we still want you to do it again. We want you to do the Oscars
Will
again.
he be given that opportunity again?
I hope he'll be given
I
that
hope
opportunity
so.
again to do it
If
again.
he
'Cause
is, I'll
he
watch
did
it
an
next
excellent
time.
job. So I
You know,
hope
I
they
will
will bring
too,
him back.
because I knew something was different. I was watching Good Morning
Yes,
America, and they kept
yes.
talking about, and I was like, "What's going on?" But I
No,
don't
no,
normally watch the
no.
Oscars
I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
because I don't
seen
like
it,
the
he
whole.
he did a good job. So I'm sure they'll bring him back again to do it, you know. So let's pray for him and
I
hope
wish I
everything
could.
comes
I
back.
wish y'all could see I
Thank
have
you,
my
ladies.
toes crossed.
Okay. Let's
I
write
got
this
my
letter.
toes
We're
crossed.
gonna keep everything crossed.
Send these
We're gonna keep
emails.
everything crossed. So thank you, ladies, for joining me tonight.
Thank
and,
you.
Take care
Allison,
of yourself.
You're the
Take
best.
care of yourself, Jacqueline.
I will. Lottie.
Make sure you take care of everything.
Yeah,
All
then
right.
I gotta get me on the right track. And Allison, take care of that cat that's walking around.
I
see him.
That's what I said.
I
Keep
see
that
him.
noise.
Y'all didn't see what I
Okay,
did. I
ladies.
swatted my cat down. I was like, get down.
I thought I closed
Okay.
the door on him.
Well,
Slippery son.
Y'all take it easy.